Hi, it's Victoria Lorient-Faibish, holistic psychotherapist. Today I would like to speak a little bit about being the child of a narcissistic parent. Primarily, I have gotten some letters from adult children of narcissistic parents. Narcissistic personality disorder is along the lines of borderline personality disorder. Essentially, in this disorder, the person is extremely superiority oriented, difficult receiving any kind of criticism. They sort of think of themselves as better than anyone else, very self-centered, self-involved in a very extreme way. I mean, we all have self-involved ways of being, but this is an extreme sort of way of being. It's very volatile. It's dramatic, emotional. You never know what's coming at them. It's the person's up, they're down, they're depressed, they're screaming, they're yelling. Their problems are the center. Their emotions are the center of the room. And nobody else's emotions or feelings really matter to that person very much. They have a real difficult time in relationships. They feel victimized usually. They feel that basically that their needs, their wants, their experience is the only experience that matters. They have a real tough time empathizing with others, which in my field, to be able to empathize and have compassion for another person really indicates a person coming into mental and emotional health and spiritual health as well. So I want to address being the child of a narcissistic parent. As you can imagine, as I'm describing this, it's extremely difficult. And these people generally, children of narcissists, feel very much like there's always something missing within them. I'm just referring to my notes. Something that's missing within them. And also, not only that, they're looking for the self. Where is their self? They've been surrounded by either one or two parents, because usually a narcissist will attract another narcissist, interestingly enough, and it is sort of a perpetuating kind of a cycle. But these are people, when they're children of this kind of a person, they have grown up not knowing what their feelings are. They have always experienced the environment with the parents' feelings as the most important thing, and so their own feelings have taken a backseat. So children of narcissists are very much feeling like the outsider in their family. They're very much people pleasers. They're very much sometimes sabotaging of their own self in order to please others. As you can imagine, the pattern of the parent being the most important person in the room. They're not interested really in taking care of themselves, because they've realized, the kid has realized, that in order to get some attention, some affection, something, they're going to have to play the game of the narcissistic parent. So in order to fit into that particular model, they've got to do what it is that's right for the parent. And usually that means that they completely lose their sense of what is right for them. And then they grow up as individuals in the adult world, in relationships, often either completely lost in terms of their own needs, or they themselves become narcissistic in a bid to survive and in a bid to find some sort of voice. So the only way they know how to do it is by imitation of the narcissistic parent. So often the narcissistic parent will mock the child as they are having feelings and will interrupt them as they're speaking. So the child of a narcissist will often feel like they can never get a word in edgewise, they can never feel heard, they can never feel seen. It is a very painful, and frankly, these people call themselves survivors of the narcissistic parent. And it is very, very painful, and I really want to acknowledge everyone that's out there that has been the child of a narcissistic parent or parents. You have to watch for a few things. Number one, you have to watch that you yourself are not attracting into your partnership, into your relationships, narcissists as well, narcissistic personality disorder people. Because really, we tend to, as I've uploaded in other videos, we tend to repeat and mirror in our relationships, adult relationships, our parental issues in a bid to resolve it, in a bid to fix it in some way, in a bid to understand it. So watch that you're not bringing into your life other personality disorders that are similar to your parents. And also watch that you yourself are not becoming narcissistic. Become aware. So a lot of the tools to handle all of this would be, as an adult, realize that you no longer have to be at the mercy of your parents' narcissistic whims and narcissistic ways of being. You can start to shut that piece off inside you with awareness and be very present and in the moment within you, so that you say to yourself, am I being reasonable in this fight? Or am I being overly demanding? Or am I in a relationship that is just like my mother and father? And if so, take stock. I encourage you to begin to write a journal and note take as you notice everything around you and realize, are you yourself narcissistic, or are you in a relationship with a narcissist, or are you suffering from the results, the ravages, in the form of depression, in the form of not knowing yourself, not knowing your voice, not knowing who you are, not knowing what it is that you need and want in your relationships. And begin very slowly to whisper those clear needs and wants within you. Soon those needs and wants will become louder, but they'll become louder in a more balanced way, because self-acknowledgement is the beginning of healing. Self-compassion, self-love, self-compassion, self-empathy is the real beginning of healing. So that is what I want you to really work on. I am always encouraging your questions and your subscriptions, and I want to hear from you at askvictoria@rogers.com. Comment on the videos, love to see those, and I just want to say that I have a lot of compassion for you. Have a wonderful day, and keep the questions coming.